overcome and will be overcome in the 21st century?
Definitely. I think that definitely. And one of the things that we have to see first is all the integration processes that are taking place inside Latin America at this moment. The Andean community, Mercosur. We just finished our meeting of celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Andean community. And our purpose is really to achieve as a goal a common market by the year 2005. Also, I think what we see inside our continent is the looking forward also to achieve the free trade zone by the year 2005. So I think the first thing that we need to do in our continent is to, first of all, push forward all these integration processes that are taking place inside our continent and looking forward for the free trade zone by the year 2005.
How would a country like yours, Colombia, benefit from the free trade agreement of the Americas?
I think that we are starting to see now results, as what happened, for example, in the Andean community. Right now, inside the Andean community, we are having an exchange of goods and services for almost $5 billion a year. And if we look forward, new markets, more competitiveness, I think as a whole is going to be good for Colombia. And that's why we are promoting not only inside the Andean community, but also looking forward for a real strength inside the Andean community so that we could negotiate with other economic blocs. And I think that's something that is going to benefit our economies, and that's why we believe in the free trade zone, and that's we believe sincerely in all this integration process inside our continent.
Do you think that, based on your reading of public opinion in the United States and the government of the United States, do you think that the United States is ready to really integrate its economy with Latin America?
At this moment, I don't think that we have the signals, really, that they want to integrate us as a whole. But we hope to really achieve the free trade zone.
When I asked you before about the history, if you look back over this century, and if you think back to the fact that it was only 100 years ago that Panama was sort of taken away from Colombia by the United States to some extent.
Yes.
Have perceptions of the United States changed in Latin America? Or is there still a kind of residual mistrust?
No, still there's if we have to be really honest, still there's a mistrust in the United States. But I think that things really have changed with the opening of our economies. Really what we're trying to do is reestablish our new relation with the United States. In the case of Colombia, at this moment is going to be very important for us, because really what we're seeing right now is a real commercial, political, new relation with the United States. In that sense, we are trying to really end these mistrusts that sometimes you could find in the public opinion. Maybe Colombia is a different country of others because of our relation. Our relation with the United States has been in the last years, as I said, a narcotic relation, a drug relation, and we need to overcome that. Colombia is not drugs. Our relation with the United States should be not only narcotics, it's commerce, it's integration, it's business, and that's what we are promoting. And in that sense, this new relation with the United States, I think that we are achieving that. And in a sense, it will bring out of the minds of the Colombians that mistrust that they could have at this moment between the relation between our two countries.
Why is it that Colombia is such a violent country?
That's a good question. You know, sometimes I don't think that even we have the answer to that question. We've been in war for the last 40 years. And that's why my commitment to look forward to achieve a peace process. That's why the Colombian vote last year. They gave a mandate to the new president, please, the first thing you have to do is work for peace in this country. And that's what we're doing. And I think that in these 9 months, we have achieved a lot. more than in the last 10 or 15 years. As you know, for the first time, the FARC is in the table of negotiation, the largest insurgent group in the country. I hope to open a new process of dialogue with the ELN after they release the people that they have kidnapped. In that sense, I think that we have taken a lot of new measures, new steps that we didn't have before. And I think that I am optimistic of this process. It's difficult. You have to be very patient. But at the end, I'm very optimistic, and I hope that we could achieve sooner than later the peace in Colombia.
To what extent does the guerrilla fighting in your country and also the criminal violence and the general violence in your country reflect lack of opportunities, a sense of social injustice among many people?
Peace, if we are talking about peace, we need to talk also of social justice. Otherwise, we couldn't achieve peace. And if you could see all the process, even I was looking the peace process in Ireland. Basically, what happened there also was lack of unemployment, social injustice, and that's why we're working hand by hand, peace with social investment. Without bread, I've said in my inauguration statement, without bread, there's no peace. And so that's why we are investing a lot in social investment to bring new opportunities to the poorest people of my country, really to look forward to achieve peace. What happened if we could sign a peace treaty in Colombia and we still have 18 or 20% of unemployment? I don't think that we could achieve peace with that type of rates of unemployment in the country. To see what's happening in the poverty, education, water supply, recreation, and that's why we're working very hard in social investment. We're working peace with social justice, because I think part of the roots of violence, part of the roots of what we're living in Colombia is because we have not invested as much money as we need to solve these social problems inside our country.
Do you think that the elites in Colombia have learned anything from the last 50 years of violence? Are they prepared to go along with you and support what you're doing?
Sometimes I've seen trouble in that. Sometimes I don't think that really still they have the conscience in their minds really to sit in a table of negotiation and look forward to achieve peace. And the problem is that sometimes what happened in our country is that I've said that I prefer to do peace in peace, not peace in war. And sometimes to express, to explain to our people how are we achieving peace in war is very difficult. But that's why I think it was very important that in the dialogue part of the negotiation that we just finished with the FARC, one of the representatives, if you allow me, of that elite of the private sector, of the industrial sector of Colombia, was in the table of negotiation, negotiating the agenda that we are going to discuss with the FARC. And I think that's very important, that someone from the private sector is also involved in this negotiation process.
The drug mafias in your country are particularly strong. How have they affected the institutions and the social structures of the country?
Now, I don't think that they are as strong as they used to be. Fortunately for us, we broke the cartels, the Medellin cartel, the Cali cartel. Now maybe we have small cartels around the country. But that's why I've been working very hard really in promoting what we call an international agenda against drugs. I think that's not, or this is not only the problem of Colombia. We have to understand that it's the problem of the United States, it's the problem of Europe, but it's the problem of the world, and that we need resources. Because the drug, first of all, is affecting the future of this world, that is our children, the young people. Second, it's affecting the environment. Maybe we talked before how the damage that is done by the poppy fields or the new coca fields in the Amazon basin or in the Amazon jungle or the Dairian jungle or the Chocó, that it's one of the largest rainforests of the world. And sometimes people don't realize the damage that has been done by drugs to our environment, that at the end is the problem that is going to be as a result in New York or in Tokyo or in Europe. So that's why we need to create conscience that this is a problem that all of us, the world, united, is going to solve. And that's why in the peace process, for the first time, we're looking at different approach in solving the drug problem in my country. That's why I propose the alternative development, but we need money. We need to give our farmers or peasants really an alternative crop so they could eradicate poppy fields or coca fields in our country, and at the end, drug will not arrive to the United States or to Europe or to any part of the world.
But even having said that, if you look forward 25, 50 years into the next century, as long as people want to use certain kinds of drugs.
That's why we need. That's why I've said this is we need to unite against this world problem, and that's why if the United States don't do anything against the demand, someone else is going to supply the drug to the United States. Even if we eradicate, if we end the crops of coca or poppy in Colombia, someone else is going to give or supply the United States with different type of drugs. So that's why we need to work hand by hand, not only eradicating, not only fumigating our crops, but at the same time giving hand to the peasants, to the farmers, so they could have a real way of earning illicit money, and in the same way eradicating these type of illicit crops.
Do you foresee, as you look forward into the next century, do you foresee a Latin America that has overcome its problems, or do you see a continent that will still...
No, we will have problems, but I think that we need to work in three principal problems that we have right now. We need to strengthen democracy. We need to strengthen all the integration process inside the continent or inside Latin America. We need to invest in social justice, as you said before. I think that's one of the priorities and the commitments as governments we need to do inside our countries. And that's why I think in the last resolution in Cartagena, in the Declaration of Cartagena that we signed last week, for the first time Colombia proposed to put in the integration agenda the social problem, social investment, the social agenda in the integration process. If we want to integrate, we need also to think in this social agenda if we really want to bring peace, to bring new hope to our countries and to our continent.
And if I could ask you one last...
¿Cuál es su opinión sobre el secuestro múltiple que ha cometido el ELN en el día de hoy?
A ver, rechazo una vez más, como lo hemos venido insistiendo todos los colombianos, este tipo de hechos, este secuestro que celebró en el día de hoy el Ejército de Liberación Nacional. Yo creo que el país lo que está esperando son hechos de paz y no hechos de guerra. Este es un hecho más del Ejército de Liberación Nacional en que claramente está demostrando que no quiere la paz, que lo que quiere es la guerra. Y precisamente estos son los hechos que no queremos los colombianos, estos son los hechos que estamos condenando, no solamente los colombianos, sino que estamos condenando la comunidad internacional. Por eso, una vez más, le exigimos que liberen a la totalidad de las personas secuestradas, que de forma inmediata la liberen. Y segundo, que claramente la responsabilidad de las vidas de los ancianos, de las mujeres, de los niños, de los hombres, mujeres que están en este momento en poder del Ejército de Liberación Nacional, es absoluta responsabilidad del Ejército de Liberación Nacional la vida de estas personas que ellos han secuestrado. Una vez más, este es un acto de terrorismo internacional, de violación flagrante del derecho internacional humanitario que condenamos los colombianos y que condena la comunidad internacional.
Señor presidente, ¿cómo es entender que el ELN dijo recientemente que no iba a volver a cometer esa clase de actos si hoy nuevamente se repite?
Sí, eso es lo que estamos viendo, que no hay una voluntad de hacer la paz sino hacer la guerra. Yo he estado en permanente contacto con Colombia, he estado en permanente contacto, el general Mora está encargado de todo el procedimiento, el operativo militar de mano del general Salgado de la policía. Ya se han liberado 75 personas, en los últimos datos de un poco más de 100, pero nosotros aspiramos a que se liberen la totalidad de las personas que ellos tienen secuestradas.
Y este llamado también, señor presidente, ampliándolo a otras organizaciones también.
A todas, es decir, lo que estamos diciendo es que nos devuelvan como corresponde. Ya lo dijimos, el caso de los paramilitares, devuelvan a la senadora. En el caso del Ejército de Liberación Nacional, que devuelvan a las personas que secuestraron en el día de hoy y a las personas que tienen secuestradas también del avión de avión.
¿La orden del gobierno es de todas maneras que se adelanten operativos o que
están adelantándose los operativos y por eso esperamos, están continuando, insisto, está en este momento está en manos del comandante del Ejército y está en manos del jefe de operaciones de la Policía Nacional.